Alright, so as you probably know by now, Konami has released the new ban list for the April 2014 format. And they really did not do very many moves, which is fine by me, because there wasn't really very much that needed to be fixed, to be honest. Most of the decks were pretty balanced, and there wasn't really very much that needed to be done. There weren't any problem cards like there were in the previous format with Return from the Different Dimension and Sixth Sense. Uh, so let's just jump right into the cards that they moved. They banned both Morphing Jar and Morphing Jar number 2, which is a little strange in my opinion, especially Morphing Jar number 2 going from 3 straight to 0. I mean, maybe with Morphing Jar, they're trying to bring Book of Moon back, but then they don't bring Book of Moon back. And that was really the only reason I could see to ban Morphing Jar. And Morphing Jar number 2 isn't really ban-worthy in my opinion. It's just a good out to extra deck monsters, essentially. It's a side deck card. I don't really see that as being ban-worthy. I mean, I don't really care too much that either of them are banned, though, so not a big deal. And that was it for the banned cards. And to 1, they moved Wolfbark, which is fine. I think you could have hit Wolfbark, Bear, or Tanky, really. And the deck isn't really too powerful. It just needed a slight tune down in power, which this does, essentially. And with Mermails, they put Gund to 1, which is unexpected. Most people expected them to hit Sphere or even Tias. But Gund had recently become the focus of the newer builds that were popularized by Patrick Hoban. So it was their primary discard outlet. So this actually does a lot to hurt the deck. They'll probably have to start running heavy infantry again to make up for the loss of 2 guns in their discard resources. So that's actually a pretty significant hit to Mermails. They probably won't be as good. They'll still be good though, because that's the only hit that they got. And then to 1 is Rekindling, which I love. I hate this card so much. It's not meta at all, but when you face decks that use Rekindling, it's just the most annoying thing. It's essentially Return from the Different Dimension for decks that are fire. It's way too powerful. It should probably be banned. Cards like Rekindling and Royal Tribute, I think, should be banned even if they're not meta, just because they're too powerful. And then they limited Infernity Barrier, which I also like, just because Infernity is kind of a boring deck. You just spam off your combos, set Infernity Barriers, and your opponent can't do anything. So now they only have 1 Infernity Barrier to set, so that makes them a lot weaker. I would have preferred if they had just banned Infernity Launcher, to be honest. I think that would have been a better hit than hitting Infernity Barrier, but I mean, I'll take it. And then they moved Necroface to 2, which probably does nothing. You can technically loop the Necrofaces now, which is why they had it at 1, so you couldn't do that. But that's not really a terribly effective strategy. That's probably not going to have any effect at all. Necroface is probably going to be one of those cards that they move from 1 to 2 to 3, and they just don't want to move it from 1 to 3 for whatever reason. And then they put Hieratic Seal of Convocation to 2, just a small hit to Hieratic Rulers. This had previously been at 2, and then they moved it up to 3, and then back down to 2 because Dragon Rulers made the deck better. So yeah, not a really big deal. They like to put searching cards at 2. They used to have She and Smoke Signal at 2. They used to have E Emergency Call at 2. So I guess that's just Konami's go-to strategy for those. And then 2 cards are no longer on the list, which had no business being on the list at all. Primal Seed is part of a terrible loop involving Macrocosmos or Banisher of the Radiance plus Blackluster Soldier. And if you have those cards plus Primal Seed plus what's the card? It's on the list. It's the limiter removal, that one. So plus limiter removal plus a machine type monster, then you can infinitely double your machine type monster's attack. Or you can do other loops, but that's the one I know of. So you need like 4 cards to be able to do anything by looping this. So it's just, there's no reason to put this on the list at all. Nobody would ever play it. And then Magical Stone Excavation is also really bad. It's only played in Diamond Dude decks, which nobody plays anymore. So yeah, that also had no business being on the list. So I don't really think that they missed anything with this list. It would have been nice to move some of the cards that don't need to be banned anymore down, or even some that don't need to be limited anymore. Like, for example, let's just look through it. You could easily bring Dark Magician of Chaos back. You could probably bring Stratos back without any issues. Sangan would probably be fine. You have to worry about Sangan tour guide interactions, but it'll probably be fine. You could bring Sinister Serpent back. That wouldn't be a big deal. This could go to 3. It's really bad. This would probably be okay. This could go to 3. Instant fusion combos are the best you can do with that, and that's basically like paying 1,000 life points to use Smashing Ground. It's a little bit better than Smashing Ground, but it's not something to worry about. I'm surprised this isn't coming back actually with the errata. I'm not sure if they're not doing the errata in the TCG and they're only doing it in the OCG. If they do errata it can go back to 3 because it's not that good anymore after the errata. It's basically like a cowboy. Goyo Guardian could probably come back. Zen Mighty could come back. That would be nice for my wind-up deck. Less of these could come back. Most of the cards that can come back are monsters. Let's see. Oh, Ravine could come back. That's not a problem. They overreacted by banning Ravine. Ravine could probably be at 3, especially if you get rid of the Dragon Millers. You could probably bring Metamorphosis back without problems. That looks like it's about it for the spells. Those are most of these are way too good. Let's see. These are all too good. You could bring this back, but there's not any good reason to. Solemn Judgment would be good to bring back. I don't like how they banned that. Time Seal could go to 3. That card is really bad. You'd be better off running Drastic Drop Off. It's a better card than Time Seal. Okay, and then let's look at some of the other cards that could move up. You can move up all of these. They don't have any business being there other than nostalgia purposes. You could probably bring Gale back. I would like them to switch Gale and Klute, just because I don't like Klute, but I do like Gale. But you could probably have both of them at 3. You could probably bring Debris Dragon up. It was fine before Dragon Rulers were a thing. You could probably bring Deep Sea Diva up. It's kind of like a weaker tour guide, really. Bestiary could easily go to 3. Magician of Faith could go to 3. Nobody's playing that. I'm surprised they didn't move it to 2. Usually with cards like this, they'll unban it, realize it's terrible, bring it to 2 because they don't want to bring it to 3 for some reason, and then finally they'll bring it to 3. Grand Mole could go to 3. Ryo should go to 3. It's really annoying how it's at 1. Duloran could go to 2. The only loops, they only work if you have 3. If I'm thinking about the loops correctly. Maybe there's a loop with just 2. You could probably bring Formula Synchron to 3. You might have to ban Librarian, but it's probably not an issue. Sheehan could probably go to 3. Samurais aren't doing anything. This could easily go to 3. This could probably go to 3. Fisher could probably go to 3. Foolish Burial could probably go to 3. Gold Sark could definitely go to 3. They should probably ban this. Should any of these have been banned? I wasn't thinking about that actually. I'll go back and do that real quick. So this should probably be banned just because it's a stupid OTK card, even though it's not really that great. Should they ban any of these? You could arguably ban the Dragon Rulers. I think they're fine as they are now, but they do limit future card design, which can be a problem. A personal preference, I would like them to ban Hornet and put Dragonfly to 3. It's fine how it is, but I think the deck would be more enjoyable if you had 3 Dragonfly and 0 Hornets. But that's just personal preference. Yeah, none of those were really ban worthy. Okay, Monster Gate. I don't think that would cause any issues at 3. People have been arguing that Rhoda should go to 3. That could definitely happen. I think this should be banned. This could easily go to 3. It has no business being on the list. Dragon Ruler decks probably wouldn't even play it because they only have 1 of each. Compulse should probably go to 3. Macro should probably go to 3. I wouldn't mind swapping Warning for Judgment. I like Judgment better than Warning. But Warning's fine at 1. Soul Drain should definitely go to 3. Transmigration Prophecy should definitely go to 3. This has no business being on the list. Card Trooper could go to 3. Chaos Sorcerer could go to 3. Necroface could go to 3. Teu could probably go to 3. You can't really even play it when it's at 2. It's probably not as good as it used to be. It is a good card though. Summoner Monk could easily go to 3. It has no business being on the list. Advanced Ritual Arc could go to 3. Ritual decks are already pretty consistent with all their searchers. That could probably go to 3. Both of these could go to 3. So there's a lot of cards that they can move up the list, to be honest. They're usually Konami's too conservative with moving the cards up. But yeah, so I think this is a pretty good list. There's nothing really terrible about it. They hit most of the top decks. They probably should have hit Geargiagear to 1. That's the only hit that I think they really missed. So I say overall, good list. So that was my reaction to the new format. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out some of my other stuff, and there will be links at the end of this video.